What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some clips here from the Ja'Marr Chase-Sauce Gardner matchup from this past Sunday in the NFL. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it can teach you a few new things about wide receiver play and DB play. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you would like a daily training schedule with all the things wide receivers should be doing on the field to improve their route running, their press releases, their hands, all the above, check out that very first link in the description below for our 4-week on-field wide receiver workout plan. It's a 4-week daily schedule. We give you rest days, workout splits with the exact sets, reps, and the drills you should be doing on a day-to-day basis. We also provide video examples of each drill. So check out that very first link below if interested, fellas. Let's get started. So we're going to be breaking down this PBU that Sauce Gardner had on this deep fade route downfield. Now, this is a throw that the Bengals like, right? So we're going to show also a clip here from Ja'Marr Chase and Jalen Ramsey and how he was able to get open on this, but this one he was not. So Sauce Gardner plays this thing perfectly. He's able to keep his leverage. He's outside shade. He keeps himself squared up to the quarterback, stays disciplined in his zone on this specific play. Now, you look at this clip here from Jalen Ramsey, and we're going to talk about kind of the differences, because this was a route, same route, fade route from Ja'Marr Chase. DB's an outside shade zone, but this was actually able to work in the Super Bowl, right? He's able to get around him. Ramsey opens up his hips, I feel, a little bit too quick, and we were able to win on that catch. So let's talk about it, right? So obviously, Gardner's here. Anytime that I'm in this situation as a wide receiver, we have to understand that I don't want to show my hands too early. Anytime it's a fade ball, anytime a DB is trailing my back hip, I want to have late hands. So if that ball's thrown over the top, I don't want to show my hands too early because that's going to give a chance for Gardner to make a play. But because Gardner's right in my face, he's in a good position to make a play. He's able to get hands in between my hands. That is exactly what a DB is taught to do. Split the hands with his hands and try to get that PBU because that's where the ball is going to be coming. Now, if I'm a wide receiver, my mindset needs to be, I don't want to show my hands too early because if I show my hands too early, this is what the DB is going to do. He's going to put his hands right between mine and have a better chance at a PBU. So we want to try to be as late as possible. You see how Ja'Marr Chase is extremely late. He's not showing his hands until the last possible second because this is tight coverage. Gardner makes a hell of a play, and now we're going to kind of break down the coverage of this specific play. So obviously coming up pre-snap, this looks like a zone coverage concept, right? Gardner's eyes to the inside. He's outside shade. That probably tells me that he is trying to force me inside to his safety help, which is right here. Anytime that a DB is lined up outside shade, we can assume as a wide receiver that he has help inside. His sole purpose is to protect the outside because this kind of looks like maybe it's a quarters concept here where they all have deep fourths of the field. So Gardner's responsibility is this entire deep fourth. He wants to, will not let anybody get behind him, especially when the safety maybe is walked down a tad. Maybe you see that sometimes in different coverage looks, especially in high school, and cover four, those safeties love to play at maybe about 8 to 10 yards. So he is taught, do not give up the fade. So if I'm a wide receiver and I'm running a fade, my sole goal is to close the space with him, give him a fake to the inside to maybe get him to crash, maybe get him to think post and slip behind him. That's my go-to if I'm running a fade. But I have to close the distance and I have to sell to the inside. So Ja'Marr Chase on this, he closes the distance, but he doesn't really give a good inside move. He just kind of runs and maybe gives a little jab to the inside, but nothing that's going to get Gardner to crash down and nothing that's going to get him to bite. So he is going to maintain his leverage the entire time. His sole purpose is to protect the leverage, force everything inside. If we give kind of a weak post break, why would he drive on it? That doesn't look like I'm actually running the post. They call that a vertical set move. You would run up to him, you give a hard jab to the inside and get him to crash. Now, Gardner, when he plays this thing, I know the clip cuts off, but you see when Burrow throws this ball, he's still staying on the inside, right? He's trying to open up and run. He's still staying pretty disciplined, keeping his zone, keeping this leverage, and then is able to make a play and squeeze Ja'Marr Chase all the way to the sideline. This is an extremely tough throw for any quarterback because there is no space to fade him to the outside. In a perfect world, what we would have liked here is we would have liked for this to work where he goes at him, closes space, gives a head fake, Gardner bites. He's able to slip outside and stack so Burrow has space to fade him towards the sideline. If it's a fade route, they call it a fade route for a reason. You need to be able to fade the guy. But if we just kind of give him a weak move inside, DB's outside shade, he's just going to squeeze us all the way to that sideline, and we're going to be stuck there. So we have to make sure when I'm running a fade against zone, I'm threatening the DB to the inside. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. So again, Chase does a great job of closing space, but we need to threaten this DB with an inside move. That is the only way that we are able to get him to bite. Now, Let's watch this example here from Jalen Ramsey. So this is how the route actually has worked a time or two. And on that throw with Sauce Gardner, you can make the argument that that ball was underthrown, right? And it was. I think maybe if he puts the thing out there a little bit further, maybe we have a little bit better of a chance. But when we are getting squeezed to the sideline, it is very, very hard to throw a deep ball. Fellas, when you're getting pressure in the pocket from a quarterback perspective, and I played quarterback, so I understand this, it is very hard to throw a fade ball and not have any space to fade the wide receiver. We are taught as quarterbacks to put the ball on his outside shoulder. It is very hard to throw a dart downfield somewhat late and put it right over the shoulder. So it's a lot easier said than done. Everybody's like, oh, it's underthrown, but he needs space to fade him. That's part of the fade route. Wide receiver keeps the DB on his inside hip, and he gets to fade him outside. So let's look at this clip here. Now, I think this is just kind of not the best play here by Ramsey, because when he turns with Ja'Marr Chase, he kind of puts his eyes in the backfield, right? As a DB, we never want to kind of have that situation happen. It depends on the coverage, obviously, because it's zone, so he is looking to the inside, trying to see if any other defender runs into his zone. But Ja'Marr Chase closes the distance, gives a little bit better of maybe a head and shoulder fake, not so much there, and he tries to slip behind. What Ramsey probably could have done here is kept his leverage, stayed where he was, and just kind of weaved to the outside and squeezed Chase, right? Squeeze him to the sideline, but he opens up and he gets his eyes in the backfield. That is where we can get a lot of separation as a wide receiver, because now I got him trailing. Now I got him to open up. I got him all twisted around, and I could go accelerate back upfield. So it was the same idea from Chase. Close the space, head fake inside, slip out behind him. And again, against Sauce Gardner, didn't really work too well because we didn't threaten him inside, and he stayed disciplined. Jalen Ramsey, we didn't really threaten him inside either, and this technically shouldn't have worked, but Ramsey got a little undisciplined, got his eyes in the backfield, maybe expecting a back shoulder, and then we could make him pay over the top. So that's just the difference between the two. I wanted to include that just because it's the same route, same guy running the route, and it's both two very talented DBs in Gardner and in Ramsey. So let's play at full speed, and then we'll get to one more clip here. So this next example is the touchdown that Ja'Marr Chase had yesterday on this slant route. It's going to be a slant flat. Now, this is some miscommunication here, but I'm going to break this down from a wide receiver perspective as to why we wouldn't do anything too fancy in this specific case. So let's play this full speed. So we got this slant and then we got this flat. So this is easy money because we get two guys guarding the flat, and that leaves Ja'Marr Chase wide open. So as a quarterback, what my read would be, and they kind of screw this up because this is probably not the best play call for this type of coverage because it looks like Sauce Gardner here is in cover 2. So we have a slant and then we have a flat. Our read key as a quarterback would be this guy. If he runs with the flat, I like the slant right here. And I have to get it out quick or else like a Mike Backer would take it away. So as a wide receiver, we obviously know that. But what we see pre-snap is we see that Sauce Gardner kind of has outside shade and his eyes are to the inside. And there might be some like a too high safety look or a safety over the top. So this kind of looks like it's cover 2. It could just be like a straight up almost zone coverage concept. Maybe it's like match cover 2 where if we have a guy into the zone like a flat, Gardner's going to sit, but if he doesn't, it's going to be man coverage. That's probably what it's like. So what ends up happening here is as a wide receiver, I see that this DB's outside shade and I have to run a slant. I don't really need to do anything fancy. I don't need to attack his leverage. I don't need to do like a hesitation move. Don't need to do a diamond release. Let's just close the space and let's just go. Because when it's a quick slant on the goal line, that ball is going to be coming out quick. So that's what Chase does. Closes the space, steps on his toes, if you will. Now, Gardner's trying to communicate the in call. So this linebacker could back up, take away the slant, and then this flat route is sitting right here. So in a real game scenario where maybe they play this correctly and they don't have two guys driving on the flats, on the slant, as a wide receiver, I need to understand that this probably isn't the best play. If that outside backer is dropping, maybe I know that this slant is going to be a second window throw. So I need to get to that second window between the mic and the outside backer, or maybe I need to just find open grass for my quarterback. This is not the greatest play for this specific coverage if it is cover 2 where Gardner is sitting in the flat. So just some miscommunication, but I want to break down what you should be thinking wide receiver pre-snap. Outside shade, too high safety, we have a slant flat. That's not a good concept, but you got to know, okay, this is the play concept that we're rolling with. Maybe my quarterback doesn't see it. Maybe my quarterback doesn't have the freedom to call an audible. I got to know where the green grass is because that first window will not be there if that corner's sitting flats and outside backer's playing hook to curl. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Chase just closing space. Obviously some miscommunication which led to the touchdown, but I want to break that down just so wide receivers can see what that should be like pre-snap. All right, fellas, really want to thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We also appreciate any kind of video feedback, any support that you guys give. We always appreciate it. And again, fellas, we have a 4-week wide receiver on-field workout schedule with over 100+ wide receiver drills of sets, reps, and video examples of each one. So check out that very first link below if interested, fellas. I'll see you guys next time.